Hello, and it's Friday. Welcome to Maths. Here's your arithmetic. So if you want to get that started, that would be brilliant. You're using your bronze, you're using your 3 times tables to get your 6 times tables. And if you can remember how you do that, you get your answer for your first one, 3 times 2 would be 6. And because this is double your, the question is been doubled here, then you can double your answer. So the answer to the first one is 6, so double 6 is 12, and that is the answer to 6 times 2. So if you can do that, then you know you can get your, from your 3 times table, you can get your 6s, which can be handy when you've got, you know, quite tricky in those higher ones. So have a little have a little practice of that today. Okay, and silver, you're taking away 19, so you can again take away 10 and add 1. Same as the 19, take away 20 and add 1. So have a little practice on those. And then here we're using those facts, times table facts, in order to get higher numbers and the division facts too. Okay, so have a go at those, and we'll pause the video and put the answers up pretty soon. Okay. Brilliant. So here we go. Your answers. Okay. Super, and you can pause that and mark the rest of them. So today we're measuring volume using 100 milliliter intervals, and we might actually use some that are less than that. Okay, because we're now into year 3 and we're using unmarked scales too. This is really good practice for you in order to get onto some of the more trickier uses of scale. So we will come to that as we go through this particular topic in maths. So here we've got the volume in this beaker, so that's the amount of liquid that's in here. Although this says 100 milliliters here, that's the whole, the amount that can be used for the whole of the beaker, and you can see the scale up the side here. So using the scale, I put them in a little little arrows for you, and it's this top one here. What would that volume be? Where is that scale hitting where the liquid has reached? So super, you should have the answer of 80. And if you look at this again, you can use your known facts for these. If you've got you know, your 2 times tables, which are from year 1, you can jump up in step jump in 2s, 2, 4, 6, and then 8, which gives you 20, 40, 60, 80, knowing that the place value, you know, 8 ones, you know, that pattern in the ones can also continue into the tens and the hundreds and the thousands. So it's really useful. Okay, if you're on call today, got a little pup for you there, in a pup in a cup, and we've got true or false. So if you think this is right, this phrase here, then you would say it's true. If you don't think it's right, you would put false. Same for this one, we've got a glass below is full up. If you think that's right, then you'd put true. If you think it's wrong, you put false. And this one says the glass below is half full. So what would that be? Would that be true, or would that be false? And we've got false for the first one because it's not full, it's less than half actually. Okay, and is this half full? That one's false as well, because half would be, if you judge it, it would be around about here, and it's definitely a lot more. I would say that's almost full or nearly full. Okay, so and both our lessons today are pictorial. Okay, and there we go. So how can we use this beaker to find out the amount of water or the amount of juice the bottle can hold? So we want to find out, we're not wanting to find out how much water or juice is in here. We're wanting to find out how the amount of water the bottle can hold, which is slightly different to what we've been doing yesterday. So how would you do this? We've got a measuring beaker here to help you. What would you do and how would you do that? Have a little chat to somebody and be ready to restart. Okay. So the beaker, that particular beaker, measures up to 500 millilitres. Okay, so we're going to have a look at how to do this. Okay, so we're looking at the again, in our mind we've got we're actually looking at the amount of liquid that's in here. So we're going to use the measuring beaker to measure how much is in there. So the measuring beaker, the beaker measures up to 500 millilitres, and here we've got a scale, okay, that is has intervals, and it's saying that each interval stands for 50 millilitres, and we're going to check that because we've got a scale that starts on 0, even though it doesn't say it at the bottom of the scale. It's starting on 0, and then we've got 2 jumps to get to 100. So this 100, imagine this was a really, long, massive number line, or number line that's been squeezed together. What would be the number that's halfway between the two? Or if we have 100 and we divide that by 2, what would be the number in the middle? Okay, now that number is 50, because 100 divided by 2 is 50. You can use your known facts for this as well. If you have 10 and you divide it by 2, you get 5. Okay, and we then know 10 lots of 10 would be split into 2, would be 5 lots of 5, which is 50. Okay, so always think about using those known facts. You think, oh, I don't know. You wouldn't start grouping, putting things in 2s, 50 lots of it. It's going to take you too long. So start to use those known facts in year 3 and beyond, and they will take you into infinity. Okay, so we're going to jump up and do step counting in 50s. So this would be 50. You can count it together with me. 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500. Okay, because this is enlarged it here. We've got that first one as 50. Okay. You can use your 5s as well for this to help you if you're struggling. You can think of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then use your knowledge of place value to make those into 25 tens. So the capacity of the bottle is how much it can hold completely, not how much is in there, how much that bottle can hold in total. Okay, it just happens to be nearly filled up anyway. So if we were to pour that in, then this would tell us exactly how much liquid we had in the bottle. Okay, so here's our measuring, and we imagine we put that all in and it's filled it up from the bottom and it's reached this mark here. So this is the capacity of this bottle. So this volume here, the amount that's in this beaker, the amount of liquid that's in here, is the same as the capacity of this bottle. If we big this bit up, we enlarge it, we can see that this scale will start on 0, and again it's that 2 jumps. So one of these jumps is 50, and then we get to the second one, which is 100. It's really useful because then when we come to this one, got 150, 200, 250, 300, we know that that space is worth 50. So we've got 300, add 50 is 350. Okay, so don't take this number and think actually you've got to work through the scale. Okay, so don't think, oh, it's 400, so that's got to be 450. You're imagining that you're coming up and you can read it like a number line. That's really all they are. It's useful to think about that because number lines are very consistent in their jumps and scales are exactly the same. So the capacity of the bottle is about 350 millilitres, and that's how much that bottle can hold. So 2 questions here with this one. One is, what is the capacity of this measuring beaker? And here it is here. So what's the total it can hold? And the other question is, what's the volume? So it's the amount of liquid that is actually in there at the moment. There's two questions there. What's the capacity of the beaker, and what's the volume of liquid in it at the moment? Capacity is the total amount of liquid the beaker can hold. So that's right up to the top here. And we know this first section is 50 because it's actually labelled for us this time, which is great. And if we carry on using those 50s, we'll be able to get to the capacity of it. So we have a go. Do it together. 50, 100, 150, 200, and that should come out to 250. Yeah! Okay. And you can do it by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 tens. Okay? So that's really nice and simple. So the volume of the liquid in this bottle, or in this beaker now, it should say, is 150 millilitres. Okay, so this is your guided practice. The beakers here contain coloured water, and what is the volume of water in each beaker? We can tell that the capacity of these is pretty much all the same. 500 millilitres, 500 millilitres, 500, a little bit more actually, but they're, you know, the scale has to finish. You have to be able to sort of pick them up, don't you, and not spill it. So here we go. We've got the first one. We want to know the volume of coloured water in the beaker is about, and then we need to know how much it is. So we're going to have a look at this, where this edge here, where the liquid stops, where it's reached. It's on the 200 millilitre scale. So that one is 200 millilitres. This one, it goes all the way up to the top, and we know this is 50. So we go all the way up to the top, 350, 400, and we reach 450. So the volume in the beaker is 450 millilitres. And this one is, we're going 50, 100, and this would be, you're right, hopefully 150 millilitres. And we would write that, we can write that ml, yep, lowercase ml, like that. Okay. And sometimes people call it mil, don't they? Okay. So we've got that Friday feeling. Nice cup of tea time for Mrs. Ludlow. I do like a tea. And I do like a tea in a teapot every now and again as a treat, special treat. So our steps to success today are read the questions. Always read the questions carefully. Carefully look at the scale and judge where the top of the liquid meets it. And write the scale is where the scale is not marked, you can work it out. And they are all 50 millilitres today. Those intervals. Okay. Read the scale and record your answer using millilitres. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the questions. Just going to show you how sleepy this hound is. He's been for a walk today, and he's absolutely crashed out. So I'll just wake him up a bit and have a little cuddle. You missed the maths. You missed the maths, buddy. Yep. This is Percy. He's my little sleepy boy, little sleepy dog. And it's been keeping me company in lockdown, which has been really nice. When he's not fast asleep, he usually sleeps on my lap when I'm working, if he can squeeze his way on. So find the volume of water in each container. It might not be water as well, it could be, or it's liquid really. So you can read the scale. Some of them are real life ones. This one's a bit of a tricky one. It's milk and it's very white. You want to get down. You want to have a really good rest then, don't you? Am I disturbing you? I'm so sorry. Okay, so we've got the milk coming round in here. It's quite tricky to see, but it's just across there. So there are your questions, and they're reasonably straightforward today. But make sure you're getting the right answers. Okay, don't just guess it. You know, go read up with the scales, and hope that goes really well for you, and you have a really nice weekend. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of our maths for this week. We're carrying on with volume next week, and I hope you have a really lovely weekend. All right, take care now. Bye.